Hi guys, good evening everyone. Welcome to Sports Talk with Knockout. Today is a pretty interesting day for us and a very special day, I would say, because we are celebrating the third year anniversary for Knockout. So it's been a superb journey for us, and we have been reporting on sports, and it's something we celebrate today, and also we are looking to bring you a lot of quality stuff in future. So please stay tuned with us. So today we are going to do a preview show on SAFF Championship 2021, where Sri Lanka will be participating. So Sri Lanka team will be playing the first game tomorrow versus Bangladesh. So Akib, what your expectations?
There's a lot of expectation from Sri Lanka. I think from last qualifiers, we have seen the team is doing really great. So hopefully the players coming in playing really well. Quite a few foreign players coming into the squad. We are seeing the space. We are seeing the experience. We are seeing the experience used by the foreign leagues. But rather, I'm talking about this much. Api gennamo ape expert to make it.
Football game. I'll welcome football correspondent Thabit to carry on with the show and to talk about the SAFF Championship and also regarding the Sri Lankan team as well. So over to you, Thabit.
Hi Tabit, what's up? Go.
Thank you for inviting me on the show. Looking forward to it.
So we are hoping that you will be on Maldives in another week or another few days of time to cover a couple of matches for us.
No, really excited to be part of this team, and first of all, like really thankful that you guys wanted me to cover the event for you all, and I'm looking forward to following the Sri Lanka team a little bit more closely.
Yeah.
And to be pitch side, watching the team, previewing the team, and reporting about the team, not just as a from a media point of view, but also from a fan's point of view, is something very exciting for me.
So it's really exciting, but yes, past few years, Sri Lanka has been really struggling in football. Like we hit the rock bottom basically in rankings and everything. But ranking doesn't really mean everything as well. So there's certain other factors for ranking as well. But we are going to this tournament as a fresh team, a lot of young bloods in the team. We are seeing 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds in the team and stuff. So what do you think about the expectation? Do you think we can make a difference? We can come out of that black mark we had on past few years?
So when it comes to sport or just anything, expectation equals pressure, So I wouldn't want our squad to go into this with this sort of huge expectation that they have to deliver, whatever it is. Like, since it's a young squad, since they're going in with sort of this fresh blood, fresh energy, I think it's very important that we go out there and put on the best possible performance that we can.
Hopefully. So just before we are going into the API product team again, we will talk about the other teams. We have 5 teams participating to the tournament in South Asian region. What are those teams, if you can
So
say?
basically, we are going into this tournament with only 5 participants. India, Maldives, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. Usually we also have Pakistan participating.
What happened to Pakistan?
Then Pakistan, unfortunately, this year in April, FIFA gave them a ban, indefinite ban, for some third-party involvement. So until their ban is being lifted, they wouldn't be participating in any FIFA-sanctioned events. So I think this year we are going with the 5 countries that I just mentioned. Talking a little bit about the rankings, I'll list them out again.
Just go before rankings. What do you think? Who would be the best team here? Like, forget about rankings. As I told, like there are different factors when it comes to rankings. As I heard, there even comes facilities and stuff as well. So, and the league structure in the country, those are affected for rankings as well. So, before going into that, what do you think? Who would be the best team, just not without thinking about the ranking?
If you're going to put me in the spotlight and ask if you want a straight answer from me, like the clear favorites here is India, because lots of factors. They have a very strong domestic league. I think the recent ISL tournament, Indian Super League, has seen great growth in domestic football. I think that's going to be a huge factor. I think the strength of any national squad is directly influenced by the strength of the domestic league, and that is not just for an Asian country. I would equally say like anything about.
And not to forget, Sunil Chetri is playing for India, and he's one of the leading goal scorer in the world in international.
For me, the player to watch out, the star player of this tournament, for anybody watching, is Sunil Chetri. He is currently ranked 4th amongst active players. He's in a bracket with Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi.
So you're talking goals. Sunil Chetri with among Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, etc. So this is huge.
So
this South Asian player.
This player is going to be playing in this particular tournament. So for anybody, be it fans or even the other players, especially our young boys as well, for them to get an opportunity to play on the same field and to say that they've been on the same pitch and played against and with someone like Sunil Chetri itself is a great experience. I think he will shine in this tournament. I'm expecting him to score a lot of goals, and I think he will be the deciding factor for India if India is going to go ahead and complete the tournament. But I would like to give a special mention to the host team. I know what
I wanted to come to that question. We saw that there's a lot of queues. People are lining in front of the grounds to watch these home matches. So probably Maldives fans are watching a game after years and years.
Yes.
After pandemic, they are trying to come out. The restrictions are going down. So with this home fans coming in, this home support, can India do the same, or can India do the same dominance throughout the tournament?
It's good that you mentioned that, Akib. We all know how much the Maldivians love football. I mean, football is life for Maldivians, and the fact that the tournament is being is hosted in Malé, it's the Malé International Stadium. For a fact there's going to be a max capacity of Maldivians in the home grounds, and also given the current pandemic and travel restrictions, I don't expect many foreign travelers from other participating countries who are going to fly to watch this tournament. So it's easy to say that majority of the fans in the stadium will be Maldivian home support, and this will obviously play a huge part. I think for me, the match to watch in this entire tournament in the group stages will be Maldives and India.
So talk about Maldives fans a bit. I remember there was a tournament in Sri Lanka organized, and in Sri Lanka and Maldives were participating. I think
so that's the stadium.
Exactly.
I was there at the stadium.
Half of the crowd was Maldivians.
It was a sea of red. Exactly. They bought those plastic things to make noise, and it was incredible to see Sugadasa Stadium packed. There was a good home support as well, but easily 50% of the stadium was the Maldivian supporters, and these are Maldivians living abroad. So you can imagine how much
the home ground.
Exactly, they are the host nation. So I'm expecting a big show from the Maldivians to support their team. Yes, India is coming in terms of like strength as a team, but like the team that can give India a tough time, I would say the host nations Maldives. So these two are the teams to look out for as like the standout teams.
So we spoke about the national teams and Katakara. We'll come to Sri Lankan team. What do you think about the squad, the combinations, and etc.? Can our team make an impact considering the performance we have put in last qualifiers, etc.? We actually won. We drew against Lebanon, as I remember. We scored 2 goals. Wazim Razik scored both goals, and we saw Dylan. 3-2. Yes, 3-2. Wazim Razik scored 2 goals. He won a penalty. Pure tactics, etc. He won it by himself.
Yeah.
That penalty, and he scored a really, really good goal. We saw Kavin Dushan assisting him, like super assist and stuff. he showed the pace. Dylan coming in, he showed the pace. Like we have Akib, etc. So including all these players, how much will these guys will make a point on this tournament?
I'd like to use the word hopeful. I'm very hopeful with this young squad. I think after a long time, the Sri Lanka team has put together this combination of players, both Sri Lankan based players, but also like a few players based from overseas leagues. So again, reason why I use the word hopeful is because we finally have something to look forward to after a long time. These young players, I believe, will go onto that big stage, and they will put on a show. I think they will play for the jersey, and I feel they're gonna make an impact.
So we'll go through the team, then we'll come to the players, and
Sure.
we have a lot to talk about these guys. So our squad will look like this. Starting with Sujan Pereira. Then we have Wazim Razik, Kavind Ishan, both are vice captain in the team. Mohammad Akib, Chamod Dilshan, Mohammad Fazal, Marvin Hamilton, Mohammad Shifan, Daxon Puslas, Edison Figueredo, Mohammad Mustaq, Dylan De Silva, Chalana Chamira, Roshan Appuhami, Supun Dhananjaya, Rifkan Mohammed, Harsha Fernando, Ruwan Arunasiri, Kavish Lakpriya, Charit Ratnayaka, Asikur Rahman, Mohammad Aman, Jude Supun, and our head coach Amir Alajic. We had a lot of controversy and a lot of comments about Amir Alajic past few months since till the qualifiers, but he showed some stats in qualifiers. He showed that what he's capable of basically. So now we have Asif Ansar as the team manager, Isa Ibrahim assistant team manager. This is a thing that we should talk about. Addition of Hassan Rumi and basically Deva Master, as everyone knows, as technical coach and the assistant coach. Sankar Jaimina, performance analyst, and Dr. Juan Fernando as team doctor. Jeevan Caldera, Masur, Gishan Surang as physio. So this is our squad. So what do you think about this squad? Can these players, and who can make an impact? Who will stand out among these players? What's your prediction?
So Akib, just looking through the squad, what we need to understand is this is a team sport, and it's the collective efforts of all 11 players on the field, the players on the bench, plus the coaching staff, and obviously the other extra support staff. That's what's going to make the difference. But if you're going to ask me like who's going to make an impact and who's going to make a difference for the team, I've shortlisted a few players who I believe would make who would play a significant role.
I think Sujan should be in that list.
100%. So you've actually opened the list for me. So I've got Sujan up there as like my key player for the team. Obviously, he's going to lead. He's got a lot of experience, and he's got experience playing in Maldives as well. So that for me is an easily standout point, that we've got someone of his experience and his caliber who's going to be in the dressing room really charging the players.
Sujan actually came back to Sri Lanka last year. He was playing in Maldives for quite a few years there and performing in very high level. So how much of experience, how much of that can he bring back to the team, and how much of that he can bring to the team when he's playing back in the Maldives? Basically, it was their home grounds, and he's familiar with everything, like territory, exactly.
That's a very important point, because as any player, with experience comes comfort. The fact that this boy has played in that same stadium, he has played many matches in that stadium, so he will be very familiar with the territory. So there would be a level of comfort, the nerves. There won't be much nerves, as you would expect a youngster, an 18, 19-year-old stepping onto the field, but somebody who's played in that particular stadium for many matches. So therefore, I would expect him to be rather comfortable, to be very confident, and he's playing a very important position as well. I would expect him to command and lead with a very sort of how do I call it? I would expect him to be at ease. I don't want to see a player of that experience to be nervous, and I don't think he will be nervous. And the fact that he's going back to Maldives, which a ground that he's very familiar with, so I think he's going to play a very crucial part, and I'm looking forward to Sujan leading the way.
So he's basically called as South Asian Superman in front of the goals.
And I think he's our Superman too, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and after Sujan, I would like to bring a special mention to Puslas. I think you know what they say is like goals win you matches, but defense will win you championships. So I think with Sujan and Puslas at the back, I think we have good experience and good strength and confidence in that back line. Puslas, I think, played a very crucial role in the qualifiers, and he's coming into this tournament with a lot of confidence as well. So I would easily put him out there as he's going to play a key role in this tournament where he's going to hold the defense.
There is no doubt the way, as you mentioned, like the qualifiers, the way he played,
Yeah.
the way he took in charge in that back line, it's amazing. So you were playing teams like South Korea in that qualifiers, and the effort he put, it's unbelievable.
I think having a good relationship between goalkeeper and your defenders is crucial for any team's chemistry. And I think between Sujan and Puslas, there is a good relationship, and that will show when it comes to the match day. And obviously, this is a tournament; they're going to be playing every 2 days, every 3 days. So having that maturity and sort of good communication at the back will definitely reflect on the rest of the team.
Who else on your list?
So I've got 3 more players, forward players. So this will be my 5. So I'm going to use our 2 sort of midfield players. I've got Dylan and Akib, 2 youngsters. Yes, no, you're in the studio with us, but you know the Akib that I'm referring to. 2 youngsters. I would say these 2 guys are the future of Sri Lanka football. You know, they're coming in fresh, lots of energy, and I think they're going to make a huge difference. And they're both wingers. They've got good legs. You know, they're going to use their speed. And for me, I'm actually excited to watch them play. I'm really excited to watch these 2 youngsters. Dylan actually is, I believe, the youngest member of the squad.
Yeah, he's 19
I think
years
he's
old.
born 2002.
2000, yeah.
Yeah, 2000. Born in 2002. I mean, it's nice, you know, that we have players of their caliber getting an opportunity to wear the national jersey. And
not to forget this, he's coming from England and QPR. QPR is actually a team who played in Premier League back in the day.
Sure. I mean, like I would like to touch on that point a little bit after this. But for now, that midfield of having these 2 youngsters of Dylan and Akib, I think is very exciting. We have a lot of speed going forward, and I'm hoping they would be able to feed the ball to the 5th player on my list. That's Wasim, and I think Wasim is also coming with some experience. Yeah, he's got a European background and European upbringing. So the front 3 of Dylan, Akib, and then feeding the ball to Wasim. I'm expecting.
Not to forget, Wasim is the only Sri Lankan player featured in FIFA.
I mean,
okay, and his pace in FIFA itself is really good.
Yeah.
You were talking about speed in wingers like Dylan and Akib, and we have a forward like who's a striker basically with speed. So it's amazing.
So I'm counting on him to score goals. I'm sure these 3 boys, the front 3.
So do you think with this pace we have in wings and the striker, we will go for more sort of a counter-attacking?
Again, I can't comment much on what style of play the coach has planned for them. It's down to the coaching staff to decide how they want to deploy these players. But when you have speed on the team, you've got to make full use of them. You know, like be it a counter-attacking football, doesn't matter, or whatever style that they wish to play. My only hope as a fan and as an outsider, you know, sitting here and commenting. By the way, it's very easy for us to sit here and comment. You know, I mean, all what we are doing is trying to like create a bit of awareness. But I'm sure the coaching staff have a more concrete plan on what they wish to do. If there's speed in the team, use it. You know, but I want to mention sort of a wild card player here, and I think this player will definitely make a difference, not just on the field but off the field. As I want to talk about Fazal. Fazal comes to this team with experience, a wealth of experience. He's played in a number of Sri Lankan club teams. He's played many matches. So in a relatively young squad, having a guy like Fazal.
He also the former captain of
Yes.
Sri Lankan squad.
So having a guy like Fazal in the team, not just in the playing 11, but also in the dressing room, preparation. Mind you, for some of these boys, like they're fairly new to the touring life. You know, they're being away from home for a few weeks. So having a senior figure like Fazal will definitely make a difference. I think he would be that sort of comforting factor, like that big brother that he's going to play for these youngsters.
So Fazal is 31, Tawid.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think he's a bit old?
Absolutely not. I don't think that's the case. I actually don't know the age of Sunil Chhetri, but I think Chhetri is probably older than Fazal. If you look at age, and Chhetri is still playing, so I don't think it's going to be a huge factor.
Ronaldo.
Sorry, look at Cristiano Ronaldo. He's 36 years old. So 31 to play international football, I think is actually a very good age, because as we all know, international football is a little bit slower paced than domestic football. So a guy like Fazal can easily do well, and I'm counting on him to do well. So if he is part of the starting 11, and if he is part of the plans of the coaching team, a guy like Fazal will definitely make a big impact. And I'm looking forward to watching him play.
Is there any wild cards anymore?
I mean, look, my two other wild cards are the additions to the coaching team. I think Deva and Rumi, who are last minute additions to the squad. I think fantastic decision by FFSL. I don't know where the decision came from, or I don't know what was the angle behind it. But whoever who took that decision, be it a collective decision or an individual decision, I think including these two coaches, I think is going to play a huge part in getting some success. Because as we know, both of these guys have coached at least half of that squad in some capacity, be it school football. I think Rumi has been involved with school football. I think he must have coached Akib in school level. So he has a relationship with the players. Deva has a relationship with the players. So these guys have been in the local scene. It's all well and good to bring in a foreign coach. I think he can bring a lot of new ideas, something fresh. But you also need to have somebody who has a connection with the players. We're also like talking language barriers. How many of these players can communicate freely with the head coach?
And head coach also.
And the other way around, like how freely can the head coach communicate with the players? So having guys like Rumi and Deva who speak Sinhala, who speak Tamil.
And Rumi is known to be like great tactician for Colombo FC, for Zaira, and he went to Royal. And I think after ages, probably even after decade, Royal beat Zaira. So he's a great tactician, of course. Sure. This addition is absolutely amazing, not to mention and you have worked with him, I think.
Of course.
Not with him, but
in a tournament.
Yes.
Say how I would say it, like let's not forget who is in charge of the team. So we've got to give respect to the head coach. This is his team. But the role that Rumi and Deva would play, from an advisory position or support position is crucial. I'm sure Rumi will be sharing his knowledge when it comes to tactics and his knowledge on the players. But I would say, end of the day, this is our head coach's team. It's his team. But he should not ignore the advice and suggestions that Rumi and Deva would have when it comes to not just tactics, but also knowledge about players. End of the day, we need to, for me, football is you got to have that human touch. That relationship with players is crucial when it comes to tournament football.
So I'll go away from the players and the coaching staff, etc. The FFSL decided recently they were planning to go to Qatar, but for some reason changed plan. They went to Saudi. They played some friendly matches with clubs. As I heard, they won 6-1 as well, and they probably had a week of practice session in Saudi.
Yes.
So how important is these sessions and playing in that sort of a country, and basically what those practice session will bring to the players?
All of this is part of the preparation. Mind you, you can't prepare just 1 week before a tournament. But so the players have been preparing for many weeks. I think this was sort of like the last stage just before they go to Maldives. But I think They probably chose Saudi Arabia because of accessibility, and they have more fields and things like that. Male, as we know, has only one football pitch in Male. So if all 5 teams went to Male before the tournament, I don't think they will be in
Have
a
enough time
position.
to-
They,
yeah.
they'll have enough time or space to have this training. So I think this is why the Football Federation use their connections and their relationships with Qatar or Saudi, and set this training camp. And it's also very good because you have time to mentally prepare. You get into that zone, like you're now in that environment where, like, okay, your only focus is the tournament, right? And
Exactly.
that's all you think about. The coaches will be able to, like, talk to them in segments. They could work with the attackers, they could work with the defensive teams, and you could work on set pieces. So being in that sort of like camp environment gives the players the freedom to sort of train, but also gives that they don't get disturbed, right? They're not in Sri Lanka, they don't have to worry about anything else, so they're in that camp environment. And I think this is amazing, the fact that they can sort of like mentally and physically prepare themselves before the tournament start. I think the team arrived yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So
Maldives.
they will be fresh. They've got a few days of rest. I'm sure they'll probably have one local training session in Male before the tournament starts.
I think we saw some clips in social media. They were practicing actually.
Yeah.
And yes,
So they might
had
do some
already-
light work, just to get climatized. But I don't think there's much climatizing to do because Maldives is our neighbors. They
Exactly.
pretty much have the same playing conditions as Sri Lanka. So I think that would be somewhat of an advantage for us in terms of when it comes to temperature and humidity.
I don't think much of an advantage though. India, Sri Lanka.
No, this is what I'm trying to say. So it's not like we're playing in a condition that is very foreign to us.
Yes.
I think extremely similar
Yeah,
conditions.
when you're comparing with last qualifiers,
Yes, we're to South Korea, playing in South Korea and playing in Maldives. I think Maldives is a little bit more similar to Sri Lankan playing conditions. So I'm sure the coaches would have some light training session today in prep for tomorrow's opener.
When you talk about tomorrow's, we'll go to the matches that Sri Lanka will play, and
Yeah.
also we'll talk about a little bit tomorrow's game as well. So Sri Lanka is participating in the very first match in the tournament, which is against Bangladesh. And we have matches every third day, I think. So the first, 4th, 7th, and 10th.
Yes.
So I think top 2 teams will qualify for the finals. That's the tournament is structured. So there are 5 teams. We are playing Bangladesh, Nepal, India, and Maldives, which is basically a league structure. We are playing against everyone. So do you think we can win these games and be in like final, or is there any chance? Or at least let's start with tomorrow's game basically.
Look, it's a tournament. Anything can happen in tournament football, and since this is not a knockout, we have an option to play 4 games. And I don't know what the strategy with the coaching staff is, or what the FFSL strategy is. Like, are they going to go after all 4 teams, or are they going to save the best for maybe the stronger teams like maybe India, Maldives, and perhaps go with a lesser team for Bangladesh and Nepal, or maybe since they're starting off with Bangladesh, perhaps go.
Can we do that?
What?
Like sort of thinking about lesser team. We are actually the lowest ranking team in South Asia.
You know what? Since you mentioned it, let's actually talk a little bit about the rankings, because I think this is important, like for our viewers to get a perspective of where we stand. So we've got India, who's ranked. I mean, these rankings, according to FIFA, were released on the 16th of September. So this month's ranking, India ranked 107. We've got Maldives, second highest ranking in this tournament with 158. We've got Nepal, 168th ranked in the world. We've got Bangladesh at 189, and Sri Lanka, very sadly, are at 205 out of 210 member FIFA nations. So, as you said, you're right. There is no lesser or higher team. But what I meant by lesser was, out of the 4 teams above us, the least ranked team here is Bangladesh. So, in fact, they are ranked 189th, and they are the closest to us. So I feel we can go after them, and I think we should go after them. Again, I don't know what the strategy behind the team is. If they're gonna save their best for the last 2 games of India and Maldives, or are they going to go all out right from the get-go, create an impact? Because I believe, like, if we can start off the tournament with, with a bang, with Bangladesh, like, really make a statement, you never know, right? Momentum can come our way, and I feel the Maldivians' home support for any matches outside of Maldives, they're going to support Sri Lanka.
Hopefully, I mean, and I believe as well.
Because, growing up in Colombo, how many Maldivians are living in Sri Lanka, right? Sri Lanka is the second home for Maldivians. So
they're part of our culture.
Exactly. So whenever Maldives is not playing, I have a good feeling Maldivians would support us. And obviously, when it comes to matches like Bangladesh and Nepal, I feel with a little bit of home support, with good positive attitude and game plan, I'm hopeful.
And I also believe with that boost we have had in the qualifiers, okay, the Sri Lankan fans again started following Sri Lankan football. Okay, we were losing fans, but now we are again gaining these fans. People are following, and we are seeing these players are active in social media, etc. as well. We are seeing they are practicing, they are so committed to the game, etc. as well. Rather than past few years, even training sessions, these guys were getting playing time even throughout the pandemic. So it was really good. So we will just go and finish this show with the plan of coming back tomorrow to analyze a Bangladesh game. So again, as I told, like, who will win tomorrow's game? What's your predictions? What will be the score lines?
Man, I'd like to see Sri Lanka win tomorrow. I want Sri Lanka to win. But like I said, it's a tournament opener. I'm going for the Sri Lanka win.
Score lines?
You're putting me on the spotlight here, but let's say we go for a 1-0 win. Sri Lanka going to win tomorrow 1-0.
Do you want to put who will score? Who will be the score?
You know what? Even if the goalkeeper scores, it doesn't matter. I want us to win. I'm hopeful, and I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them as a fan, and I want to see the boys do well. I would like to see us start the tournament with a win, but anything can happen in tournament football. But Bangladesh, I would say, is like the lowest ranked team in this tournament, and if we are going to go out there and make a statement, I think the team to go after is Bangladesh. So I want to see Sri Lanka win tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Zabit, for the catch up, and we will hopefully come back tomorrow with a post-match interview. And I would also like to add, we had some questions regarding which channel will be telecasting the tournament, etc. But as of yet, we don't have any information regarding who will be telecasting, etc. But hopefully, at least I believe FFSL YouTube channel will be telecasting this, because the Sri Lankan fan can watch this actually. So it's just a hope as of yet, but let's see.
I think that will be very important that the home fans in Sri Lanka get to watch our team.
Exactly.
It's important that we get to see our boys go out there and put on a show, whatever it is. We have to rally our troops. Support. It doesn't have to be just from the stadium. Support can come from anywhere. Support can be a social media post. Support can be a message to a player. It can be anything. All of that energy will definitely play a part. And I think on behalf of the team, I would like to also strongly wish the players and the coaching staff tomorrow, and I hope they make an impact.
Yeah, I wish them as well. I love to see Fazal playing, Akib playing, my schoolmates, and of course technical coach Rumi is from our school as well. He studied at school, coached our school, now coaching the national team. So best wishes for them and our entire team as well. And a big shout out to the Run Club. Tabit, you can tell a bit about the Run Club.
I think it's
these guys.
We're very happy to have Run Club on board as our sponsors. They're, I think, a startup company. They're doing some really cool work with environmentally friendly manufacturing. So I'm very happy when Run Club wanted to be a part of the team.
Not because they sponsored us, but these are very comfortable to be honest.
Brilliant.
It's amazing.
So hopefully knockout merchandise coming soon, courtesy of Run Club.
Hopefully. So thank you, Run Club, for being our clothing partner, basically. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Hopefully, we will come back tomorrow with another episode of football analysis after the Bangladesh and Sri Lanka match. And again, I would hope for 2-1 victory, and I would hope either Dylan or Akib will score alongside with Razik.
Super.
So 2-1, hopefully. Let's see after the game who's got the score right. Thank you, Tabit. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow soon.